Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, you are there. George, you are there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Good morning.
Hello,
you are there.
everybody.
George, you
Yes.
can start, I think.
Good day. Yes, 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 please. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Yes, welcome, everybody.
Yeah, we are there. We're all here.
Yes. I will start, okay?
Yeah, please do. Please
Okay.
do. We are waiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, sir, wait, sir. Wait,
yes.
sir. Wait, sir, please, sir. I request you to wait, sir. I will first introduce and announce the formal announcements.
Okay.
So only
Okay.
then you start. Okay, sir?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your invitation. Thanks a lot for the university, all the university organized, Patron UK.
Sir, please stop, sir. I will just announce formally. We are going YouTube live. Please just bear with me. When we will be live, then please start. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Okay, sir? So, are you able to see the screen, sir? बोलना चालू कर देंगे. शुरू हो गया.
There are
So now, this is the day 2 of this international webinar, and on the screen and on the spotlight, you can view the international speakers. The renowned speaker, George Onsi sir, is with us to grace the occasion, and the second renowned speaker from all the way UK, and she is daughter of Sitamarhi from where I am daughter-in-law. So we have a bond, a sisterhood bond, and this is the place of Sita. We belong to place of Sita. It is the birthplace of Sita, and at this pious place, I am really honored to be the daughter-in-law of this land. And I cordially welcome one of my best mentor, I can say, Jyotirma Thakur ma'am and George Onsi sir. So it's today the turn for the speaker is George Onsi sir, as you can see on the screen. And now you can see the bio of his. So it is a short bio, which is I'm sharing here. So I was amazed and mesmerized to read the bio, and it is really nice to see that he is also one of the nominee for Nobel Peace Prize. So he's one of the most eminent personality to speak at this pious and sacred webinar. And I formally welcome everyone to day 2 of this webinar. This is our literary sojourn, and I hope you must be enjoying the literary feast. The new normal virtual meet joins the world, and it is now really goes with Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, global village. And this pandemic has created a new normal. It's high time that we must embrace the simple living and high thinking. I'll quote here lines from Ramcharitmanas. जे प्राकृत कवि परम सयाने, जे प्राकृत कवि परम सयाने, भाषा जिन्ह हरि चरित बखाने, भर जे अहि जे हो रही आगे, प्रणमऊ प्रणमऊ सबहि कपट सब त्यागे. And the meaning, actually I will first read it in Hindi, the meaning of it in Hindi. These lines convey that जो बड़े बुद्धिमान प्राकृत कवि हैं, कवि, that they are natural poet, जिन्होंने भाषा में हरि चरित्रों का वर्णन किया है. That means God. That means in the context of epic poem, you can say heroes. जो ऐसे कवि पहले हो चुके हैं, जो इस समय वर्तमान हैं और जो आगे रहेंगे, उन सबको मैं कपट त्याग कर प्रणाम करता. And this is the main theme of Ramayana. And with this note, I will explain this in English, obviously, because I think George Onsi sir must be perplexed what I am saying. So these lines says that it describes, it is from Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, written by Tulsidas. And in this, he says, he praises the poet, the creator of the text, of the epic. And he says, and now since this is of in the vein of Bhakti Marg, so he says that the kavis, the poets who portrays God is the best level of poets, who can express the various forms of God, the avatars of God. That is mystical poems. I will here mention Vidyapati. I have read on JSTO in an article. He says that, the writer says that there is controversy that Vidyapati is erotic writer or he is a religious writer. He arises the question. But my mentor, Dr. Ken Singh sir, he said, yes, there are some erotic lines there, but it doesn't mean that these are erotic poems. These kind of poem must be and should be viewed with the lens of esoteric. The suitable apt word is esoteric for this, not erotic. As we can find this kind of examples in metaphysical poets, where John Donne in The Sun Rising, he says to sun, busy old unruly sun, and like that. So With this, I would hand over the virtual platform to Dr. George Onsi sir, professor. And since he has so many achievements in his life, that I chose to present all the achievements. And one more thing to add, that it is curtailed bio of sir. And so I'm really amazed and I'm really honored that today George Ansi sir will grace the webinar organized by my department, and it is like a dream come true. So now, sir, the platform is all yours, sir. Over to you, sir. George Onsi, sir. So actually, when we are in webinar, in virtual webinar, we have reactions here. We have a new thing here, reactions. So I will appreciate that from audience, both in YouTube live session and in the Zoom platform. Please do give the virtual reactions, which is meant to be giving big hand to Dr. George Onsi sir, professor. So George Onsi sir, you can begin.
Okay, thanks very much, Dr. Arpana Kumari, for this beautiful presentation. Thank you for your invitation, all the university professors and Dr. Jyotirmaya Thakur, who suggested me to come, and everybody. I would like to thank Patron UK Shudari
Yes,
and
sir.
Chief.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Continue, sir. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay. Chief Patron Professor H. Prasad Pandi, and all the university professors and all the honorable audience of R.S.S Mahila College Sitamarhi. And I would like actually to thank India, dear great India, where I went 3 times, and I considered the sacred heart of the world, actually, and my second homeland. This is my webinar. I present this presentation, and this presentation is actually, I hope you got Dr. Arpana already the first part of my presentation, so that it can go with, because it's all visual, it can go with my explanation. Okay, I'm
Yes,
talking
sir.
here about, you got it? Are
Yes,
you
sir.
able
Yes,
to?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. I'm talking here about an approach, a psychosomatic approach to enjoy life, but eternally, not a momental enjoyment. I call it Enjoy Life as an Eternal Poem, a multidisciplinary psychosomatic approach to enjoy body, spirit, soul harmony, facing all life challenges. This is the title of my approach and my presentation that I presented in many parts of the world and in many webinars, and I would like to share with you today. First, I start with the second slide here, where I ask, let's face our life reality. I ask all of you, all of us, let's face our life reality. The time, effort, and concern given to our body and material life is far more than what we actually give to our spirit, means that mind and feelings and our soul. So if we are eternal beings, we should ask ourselves, when our body will be gone, what communication shall we have with such weak spirit and soul? that we haven't give time. Okay. Uh, Next one, to solve this problem, we should synchronize our body's mechanism, which takes all of our day actually, uh, which means sexual perception and physiological processes, as well as work and other activities that we do with our body, with our intellectual and spiritual growth. So when we move to the second, I would like to display the structure of my presentation. It consists actually in two parts, level one or two levels. Level one, be an immortal being, getting one, an immortal mind, two, an immortal sentiment or feeling. Number three, a body-soul harmony. This is the spiritual, intellectual part of my presentation. The second part of the presentation, which is level two, down to the ground, which is a practical side or practical level, facing life's challenge. Okay, here I'll be talking about different aspects of our practical life and the challenges. But since the time is limited, I'll be giving only an outline of this part by the end. Okay, so let's now focus on the first part. I move to the slide, which is entitled Eternity Gates, Eternity Gates, with one of my paintings showing the way to eternal life. And I say here, the key multi-level technique to achieve the needed eternal awareness is what? Is, as I said, in level one, be an immortal being, getting an immortal mind, two, an immortal sentiment, three, a body-soul harmony. We start with the spirit, which I mean by the spirit here, mind and feelings. A, mind, B, feelings. So A, talking about A, the mind, the key thing to everything, the immortal mind, how to orient our mind to be eternal and to grasp the eternal enjoyment, eternal bliss in the here and now. On the next slide, I show this globe and yourself or myself in the globe, okay, has a location or part or spot on this globe. And I say, you need to find your role in the existence. This is a key thing to have an immortal mind, which means to develop an immortal mind, you need to find your role in the existence. I mean, your position in this part of the world and this part of the history, this epoch of the history. Next slide. You must realize that you are here for a purpose. You are part of a universal divine plan. You came to this time and this particular place, this particular time and this particular place as an open message to be read by all. That's why I present this baby in the mailbox. Something like that. We are sent as a message. The second one, it shows the matrix. The following one shows the matrix filling our existence in order as a blue line for the divine plan. And I say here, we should try to line up our journey of life along the universal matrix that governs the whole existence, being and becoming. And when I click it here, you see this continuous red line moving through the matrix is the divine plan, for example, and the dotted one is my own or your own trajectory or way of life or journey. And you try to line it up as far as you can upon the divine line designed for you. So the second one was a sculpture or the statue shows this concept that the matrix is filling the air, filling the universe around us. And I say here we will be able to touch and enjoy that matrix that fills the space of existence embracing us. It is the divine womb the living, all-prevailing body of God. I thought this statue may suggest this concept. This concept is also a key component to my research paper, A Theology of Space-Time, a theology of space-time. Then I move to another one with a detail of my painting. In other word, we should say that that we go into the source of existence, source of life, source of love in body. We should unite or get in unity with this source in body, spirit, and soul. This is how what we may call living eternity, starting here and now, can be achieved or can be real. This is what this detail of my paintings depicts. Here, to conclude this part, I say, so to enjoy forever, starting here and now, be in inseparable unity, be in inseparable unity within the matrix, the divine matrix or the universal matrix. Because enjoying eternally is using your talents and abilities within a divine plan for the good of all. Okay, now we move to B, the immortal sentiment or feelings. First, receiving from nature or art or any source of beauty holds a message, okay? We should okay? Receiving the beauty, first receiving the beauty message through the splendor of nature, receiving the beauty message through the splendor of nature. How is that? Through the variety of environment, as you see in the next pictures, 4 pictures. Then the yin-yang my concept hello? 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 Are you hearing? Are you listening?
Yes, sir. We are listening to you.
Listening? Oh, okay. Where did I stop? Where did I stop? Okay. Where did I stop? Did I stop here? Eternity Gates? Hello? Dr. Arpana, are you following? Hello? Hello? Are you listening?
Yeah, I listening, sir.
Okay, where did I stop? Because I think part of what I said wasn't heard. Hello? Hello?
Hello,
Yes?
sir. You were on Eternity Gates.
Eternity Gate. So I have to repeat this part because I went further. Okay. No problem. This is what you have now. You are using the old file or the part one of the new file? Dr. Arpana, are you using the new file? Hello? Hello, are you listening?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am very much listening, sir. My network is unstable, so I am keep. So I am not there, sir. I keep coming and out. So my network is not stable. Here, people are there to help you. Here is Aarti ma'am and Ayan. They will help you, sir.
Okay,
If
thank
I
you
am
very
not
much.
there, so please go ahead, sir. Please
Okay,
go
thank you
ahead,
very much. Okay, I would like to know where I am now in the show because
Sir, you are on Eternity Gate, sir.
Eternity Gates. Okay, I don't. Okay, I would like to see it on screen, on your screen, not mine. Okay, okay, let's start here. Okay, Eternity Gates. I mean by Eternity Gates, the way to understand, talking about this spiritual, intellectual level. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Be an eternal being, getting one, an eternal mind, two, an eternal feelings or sentiment, three, a body spirit harmony. Next, please. Next, please.
Ayan, please.
Now I talk first about the spirit, and I mean by the spirit, the mind, B, the soul, sorry, B, the feeling or sentiment. Okay, next, please. Next one, please. Okay, the eternal mind. I consider the mind is a key thing to everything. I call it here, we are trying to develop immortal or eternal mind. How is that? As you see in the next slide, which represents a globe and your position on the globe. The next
Here,
slide.
next slide.
The next slide, please.
Ayan, the next slide.
Yes, you need to find your role in the existence. It means in the next slide, as you see, you are here in this existence, in this particular place, and this particular period of history and this particular place of the globe to achieve a universal divine plan. You came to this time and this place as an open message to be ready by all, as you see the baby in this mailbox. Okay, next, please. Next, please. Next slide, please. And as you see in the next one here, the matrix filling the existence, and it is a blueprint for the divine plan set for any one of us. And I say here, we should try to line up our journey of life along the universal matrix that governs the whole existence, being and becoming. The continual line shows God's plan or the divine plan, and the dotted one is our trajectory or our journey of life that we are trying to coincide with this line. Thank you. Next one, which shows the statue. Yes, which I feel it expresses how the matrix or the divine womb is filling the air around us, feeling everything. Here we will be able to touch and enjoy that matrix, filling the space of existence, all embracing us. It is the divine womb, the living, all prevailing body of God, I thought this statue very expressive for that. And I say that this concept is also a key component to my research, a theology of space-time. Okay, next, please. Okay, please. Next one, please. Next one, please. Hello? Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, sir. Network issues are there. Please bear with the delay, sir. Please bear with it.
I'm listening your voice properly, sir, and I'm going to the next slide again and again. Which one slide you want, sir? Hello.
Hello, sir. George Onji, sir. Is the slide which you was watching on the screen is the desired slide? Please see, sir.
Georgie, sir, is now offline.
I think there must be some network error there.
Yeah, maybe.
Now he's with us. Sir, you please unmute yourself, sir. Unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please bear with the network issues are there. So please say what slide do you want, sir? Is it the desired slide which is on the screen?
Okay. The previous one, please. Okay, the previous one.
And please go to the previous slide.
Yes, I read this already. I don't know if you have heard it or not. Here we will be able to touch and enjoy that matrix. Did you see the one of the matrix? The matrix? The one before that? Okay. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We can see the image of the statue.
Yeah,
and
the matrix. The matrix. Are you able to see the matrix?
Yes, sir. Everyone is able to see that.
The matrix.
Screen,
Yes.
Sir.
Okay. I said the explanation. Shall I say it again, or it was audible?
No, sir. It was quite audible, sir. Please continue to the next
Okay,
slide.
I'll move it myself now, if you don't mind. Okay.
So you have
next. Okay, next, please. Next.
AYAN to the next statue.
Yes, the one with the statue. I said it expressed the idea or that the matrix is filling the space around us. Okay, next one, please. Next one, please. Next one. Next one,
Next
please.
Next slide.
One. Yes, next one. No.
The earlier one.
Yeah.
AYAN, go to the earlier slide.
Okay, the one with
some slide. Excuse me, sir. Listen to me. Some slide are too same. If you want any,
yes,
your choice.
AYAN, those
yes,
slides are repeated and sir has some connotation to that. So
yes,
please,
ma'am.
please follow his instructions.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. I
okay.
have
The previous one to this one, please, that we see the previous one.
Go to the previous slide.
Can we get the previous one, please? Previous before.
Yes, sir. He is going to previous slide, sir. Just a sec.
Yes, this one, please. This one. It shows a detail of my painting, and I say here, in another word, it is to be interwoven into the source of existence, source of life, source of love, in body, spirit, and soul. This is how what we may call living eternity is starting here. Okay, next one, please. Next one. This is to summarize, saying to enjoy forever, starting here and now, is an inseparable unity, with the matrix, the divine matrix. Next, please. Next one, please. Yes. So enjoy eternity is using the talents and abilities we have, each one of us has actually, within a divine plan for the good of all. Okay, we move to another part, which is the spirit part, the sentiment. Will you? Hello? It is inaudible.
You are
Okay.
audible, sir. Please,
Yes.
if you are not audible, we will ask you, sir. Please, just
Yes,
one
please.
second. Please listen to me, sir. Actually, my network is not stable today. That's why I have asked my co-host, Mr. Ayan, to handle your
Yes.
presentation, sir. So
Thank you very much.
please bear with him. He's not attuned to your presentation, sir. So please bear with that. And
Okay.
I will also request Ayan to please bear with sir, because he has prepared the slides and there are so many repetitions there. But that doesn't mean that each and every slide has their own connotations. So please bear with. I will request both Ayan and George, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate his effort and your effort. Thank you very much for everybody. Okay, shall we move to an?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we'll be sharing it, sir. Just a sec, sir. Just a second. So continue, sir. You are on the slide where you have portrayed the statue, the thinking statue, enjoying eternally, and I think you have so deeper connotations to these statues, and I will also introduce to the audience that Sir is a renowned poet and he's also a painter. And during these slides, so you will get to acquainted with all his works. So please bear with us and enjoy this presentation.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here. Okay. Okay, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Please continue, sir. No issues.
Okay. So I say enjoy eternally is using my talents and abilities within a divine plan for the good of all. Let's move to next one, please. Next one, please. Next one. Okay, now we move, we talked about the mind. Now we move to the other part or other dimension of the spirit, which is the sentiment. How to develop an eternal or immortal sentiment. Next, please. This is the title of this part. Actually, the beauty around us, the beauty we enjoy through everything that's beautiful has a message, okay, eternal message. So we should learn how to receive the beauty messages. First, through the splendor of nature, from the splendor of nature. Okay, next, please. As we see in the next pictures, it's 4 parts picture. You can see the different environments showing the beauty of nature and how to enjoy the harmony and the visual balance in it. Next one, please. Next one, please. Next one. As you see in the yin-yang sign, I say here that beauty is a continual divine message telling us that there is a balance between all the contradictions of our existence. Okay. This is what we learn from beauty, because beauty comes from the balance. Balance between what? This is what we learn in next slide. Next slide, please. Next image, please. Oh, this one shows the aesthetical principles of all art, literature, and everything, which is unity versus variety, plurality, and how to find unity in variety and variety in unity. This is what we learn from beauty. Beauty is a manifestation of a cosmic balance. This theory actually looks like aesthetical, but in the same time, it is not only a theory of aesthetics, it is also parallel to the theological theory that we are in the one and the one in all. And you find in pantheism and holistic idea or view of the world, the holism, and also the pantheism. Next, please. Next, please. Yes, number two, receiving the beauty message, but through works of art. Works of art. Next, please. And the next one, next one, I display here two different theories. I say between Plato's and Aristotle's view of art, we may view art as a revealing the hidden reality of the world rather than just trying to incompletely imitate it, as Plato stated in his theory of idealism. So we should regard art as revealing the hidden dimension of life that we cannot see in reality with our senses. And this goes also with what Oscar said as a critic when he said that life imitates art, and art doesn't imitate life, but life imitates art. Next one, please. Next one. This slide shows the Vitruvian man. Vitruvian man, it is a theory by Vitruvius from the Latin time or the Roman time. It is written by Vitruvius and depicted through Da Vinci's sketch. It represents the integrity of man with the universe, geometrically presented here. Next one, please. Next one, please. When I'm not audible, please tell me, okay? This 20th century theory or application made by the great Swiss artist and architecture pioneer Le Corbusier. It is called the modular. It is kind of anthropometric scale for beauty, for any work of art or architecture. Le Corbusier turned the proportions of man's divine, godlike body into a golden mathematical serial, appreciated by his contemporary great mathematician, Albert Einstein. Applying it, he could design the most proportional architectural designs ever. And you can see also next slide, okay? Next slide, please. This is the serial, the mathematical serials he created, and this is one of his applications on this facade of this building. And I ask here, okay, so how do you feel being a living scale of beauty? That is what you really are. Next, please. Number three, another approach, another technique for developing that immortal sentiment, as we said, is our romantic experience and the sentiment of eternity. Next, please. How to develop our romantic experience. In this painting, I used, I depicted a long time ago, showing a couple moving with the air of time. I say, our romantic experience has to be interwoven into the eternal source of love, or a day will come when it will go away with the wind of time. Okay, next, please. Number four, flowing through space and time. How to flow through space and time and not to be limited by space limits or place limits and time, so that we can grasp the idea of eternity, the eternal dimension of our being. That's what we will see in next slide. Next slide, please. First technique is tracing back our memories, how to trace back our memories and to live partly in the past memories and experiences. Next, please. Most of our intuitions are related to the significant time-space contexts that we cannot get back, but we are still longing to experience it again or experience them again. Okay, next, please. Next, please. Yes, this particular feeling can be aroused and intensified through our encounters with special environments that recall our significant past memories. Next, please. Next, please. The same thing with works of art. As we see here in this lovely work by the painter, Victorian painter Godward, in the days of Sappho. And Sappho, this is a great poetess and music composer from the 6th century BC in Greece, Lesbos. And can be developed. I mean, this feeling of the past and this journey to into the past can be developed further to navigate back in time through historical experiences. Next, please. In the next slide, you'll find another painting by one of these groups or these schools, Lawrence Alma-Tadma, also from England, from the Victorian age, and it shows also the time of Greece, ancient Greece. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes, in fact, the idea of navigating in time still obsessing man's mind as many novels and films reproduced through the history of literature and filmmaking. No wonder that today scientists have started to actually create a real-time machine. Okay, so even on the scientific level, there is a move towards this reality that we've been always thinking as a fiction or fantasy. Next, please. Next one, please. Okay, this is one of my paintings that I tried to depict how to get out of the well of time, you know, the flow of time into the intemporal, the time free, okay, and consequently the eternal experience. As I try to depict here through my painting, the realm of in-between time and space, such a particular significant moments that take us out of our limited earthly time and place. Next, please. We'll see a detail of this and showing our journey, symbolized here by the boat, which is going, astray from the traditional or the main current of time in order to get the intemporal in-between realm of the eternal experience. Okay, next, please. Next, please. Yes. The same thing we found in some literary works of great writers. And here I say this can be intensified also through meditation, being present in long existing environments. When we are present in long existing environments, like seashores or mountainside or ancient architecture or landscapes, as this concept is depicted here through this poem of the great Lebanese poet Elia Abu Madi in his poem series, The Riddles. Here he is conversing with the sea as an eternal being, witness to all the events through the history. Okay, next, please. Next, please, which will show William Blake, another example from literature work when he talked about eternity in a very romantic, beautiful way, between the dialogue between a father and his son, when the son talked about his mother who departed from our world, and he can see her in the dream. So he called the eternity the land of dreams. In his beautiful work, he depicts that. Okay, next, please. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read because the time is limited, but you can refer to it. The Land of Dreams by William Blake. So to conclude this part, I would say, to enjoy eternally, be time-free, omnipresent, time-free, omnipresent, consciously united to the source, the divine source or the universal source. Next, please. Next, please. The same thing here I experienced actually as extension as example to this, my own personal experience. Okay, my own personal experience as writer, to write some form of literature where I have encounters with people of the past in their own languages and discussing with them their key issues, cultural issues of their own cultures, like conversing with Beethoven, Oscar Wilde, as in my short story printed right up here, right top. When I was with Oscar Wilde in his difficulties, through his difficulties and his last days, and in all these, actually, I used their own quotes, their own words. You know, I haven't invented anything, but just dialogue, conversed with them, you know, in their own languages, like Victor Hugo, Schiller, Goethe, Sappho, and William Blake, and many others. Okay, next, please. Okay, please. Next one. You can find that short story of Oscar Wilde on Bookman. It is printed 2 years or 3 years ago on published on Bookman by Dr. Rashmi Lily. Okay. Next one, as you see. This is a scientific view or reflection showing that the spiral form can be a key to time-space travel. This may explain the spiral structure of black holes being as of black holes being, as astronomers say, the gates of eternity. Okay, next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next one, please. Thank you. Further detail on this point will be found in my research paper, Theology of Space and Time. Next, please. Okay, please. Next one. Here we will be able to touch and enjoy that matrix, filling the space of existence, all embracing us. Here I come back to that personal, intimate experience with the divine, when we feel that he's filling the air, is filling the existence around us with his matrix. Okay, with this network of different trajectories he's planning for us and choosing the best one for us. Next one also is a reminder. Next slide, please. Is a reminder of this as presenting the human being interwoven with the very tissues, the very lines of the divine. Here it is not a presentation of a geometrical matrix, rather than, you know, a human-like structure. Next, please. Next, please. This is my own experience also as a writer when I wrote the series You Are Love, addressed to God. And here, this experience is developing the experience. To experience the divine is not just an energy, cosmic energy, or the logos, or whatever we call it, but it is a personified God, personal God, with whom we can create a personal, intimate experience. This is a series of 20 poems, and now it's being reposted on Facebook for the second time. You can follow them. I have reached, I think, number 12, and still referring to all of them. And you can find it also in my book, Let's Be One in the One, published in New Delhi 2017 and translated into Telugu also the year after by Dr. Prasad. So you can find it through Amazon.com if you like this series and the other series. Welcome. Next, please. Next, please. Now we move to the body, and the body is a challenge because when we talk about the body, we are talking about something material that would take, take up the majority of time and the biggest part of our time and our concern. But how to make it a motive to our spiritual and soulful dimension. This is what I call uh, having a spiritual body. In this part, how to develop a spiritual body. We talked about the mind, then the spirit, okay, sorry, the feelings, and both of them the spirit. Now the body, how to develop a spiritual body. Okay, next one, please. Next one. When we talk about the body, I refer to this point that the body takes the most of the time. Okay, this is just a reminder. We can move to the next one, and how the necessity to interweave the body activities with the soul and spirit perception, spiritual perception, and the intellectual perception. Okay, next one, please. Next one, please. Yes. Here, I would like to say, the key is to turn our body's senses and actions into a conscious mechanism that synchronizes with our spirit and soul through a continuous dialogue with the source of our existence. Okay, next, please. The first part, when we talk about body, we should talk about the senses. So in brief, I summarize in this slide the whole idea. We got in our body, or through our body, we get our awareness and knowledge about the universe we live in through the five senses. And also we get from it through the physiological processes, the energy which is necessary for survival. Okay, next, please. Next, please. So about the five senses, how to enjoy the five senses. Okay, how to enjoy the five senses. Okay, next one, please. First, hearing, how to enjoy everything we hear, even the sound and noise. Okay, even the frictions of leaves, everything, the breezes, as you see in next slide. Next slide, please. As you see in next slide. Yes, everything can be enjoyed in hearing. The same thing with the next sense. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, the same thing with the smelling, as you see. But before smelling, there is I wish to show what we smell. I smell variety of things. That okay. Next one shows the flowers. Okay, thank you. And next one after this, after the following one, we move. Yes, we move to the site. The site. Yes, the site here actually introduces us, as we said, to enjoy the variety of beauty, the variety in everything. So through the site, as you see, next slide, please. A variety of colors, how to enjoy the variety of colors. Next, please. As you see, next slide, you know, the whole palettes of the universe, a palette, a painting palette, a painter's palette. Okay, next one, please. Variety of environments. You see the rich variety of environments that the creator granted us to see. Yes. Yes, please.
So these are so beautiful pictures that sir has collected for you. So have look on this.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
Yes, in this slide, as you see, the variety, how to enjoy the variety of different environments. Okay, after enjoying different colors. Next, please. Next, please. Variety of creatures. Next, please. As you see, next slide. Yes, yes. You have variety of creatures. And next, I would like to, the taste and touch related to each other one way or another, even physiologically. I would like to say here something also. In next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. With this fruit table, I would say we are not blessed with enjoying only the variety of color, smell, and taste of hundreds of kinds of fruits and natural foods, but also this is a scenario of pleasure, biting, chewing, and swallowing each piece with its special texture and substance. Okay, next, please. I would say something about this variety, that the scientists' functional interpretation of variety is merely adaptation. They would say that all these varieties, it is a kind of adaptation of each creature to its environment. But here I say, if they claim that tremendous variety is because of the need for each creature to adapt itself to its environment. However, the question still remains, why there is such a great variety in 1 meter cube of the same environment? Okay. The answer here, next please. Next please. I believe that the answer is the intention of the divine designer of such variety to make us experience, learn, and enjoy life. Next, please. This is a message of love, actually, and that's what I am trying to express through this slide, saying, so this rich variety is nothing but a universal message of love, where every and each individual creature contributes to this enjoyment message, each in its own way and through its own existence. Okay, so we should read the environment of our senses this way. So as a conclusion, I say, to enjoy eternally, try to get a sense of life, a deep sense of life, enjoyable sense of life, being grateful to the source of this life, and hence creating an eternal dialogue. This way we can create an eternal dialogue of thanksgiving. You receive and you thank, and this is a continual dialogue. And this is what will last for eternity. So we come back here as you see, this cycle again. We take knowledge and awareness of the universe through the five senses, and we get energy through the physiological process. Here we should talk about different physiological processes, okay, that through which we get the energy from the world to keep us alive. Next, please. So we are talking about the physiological process. Next, please. Yes. Yes, please. First, we start with breathing. I learned it through my singing lessons that the same air we breathe in is the same with which we sing out or talk when communicating with others. Next, please. So this is a complete cycle because we get the breath of life, the perfect cycle to communicate with the source of life can be practiced and enjoyed every moment we receive that life-giving breath, giving it back as a singing of praise to him or as words of affection and love to the people we communicate with. So this is how to enjoy the first physiological process, a vital process, which is called breathing. There is another dimension for breathing, actually, which is the omnipresence experience. Breathing and our omnipresence experience. And we ask ourselves here, the air we breathe, hasn't it come from everywhere on the planet to end up getting into our own being? Okay, so this can be contemplated, meditated as being a process of omnipresence. You get everything from every part of the world of the universe into you. Okay, another one, digestion. And we talked about the taste and how to enjoy the process of eating and all that. How about digestion? In digestion, next please. In digestion, we can regard eating as well as our, beside enjoying the taste and smell and everything and chewing and that scenario, we can regard it as our omnipresence experience. We ask ourselves again, the food we eat, hasn't it come from everywhere on the planet to end up getting into our own being and being part of us? Okay, next please. The same thing we can say about drinking as in next slide. It is an omnipresent experience of omnipresence. So say the water we drink, hasn't it come from everywhere on the planet to end up getting into our own being? Next, please. Next, please. Even when we talk about lovemaking, okay, this is another physiological thing actually. Through the experience of lovemaking, we can also enjoy the same communion with the whole universe where the source of love is present everywhere. And this can be a part. Next slide, please. In the next slide, I would refer again to that space-time experience, theological space-time. This painting that you see here is a very unique experience that when I painted this in the year 2015, I tried to depict from a book your great symbol of existence, the wheel of existence, as you see in top left. But I made it in converse with the frieze of the great temple of Athena, with its mythological figures and mythological figures in dialogue with those floating souls, and the 9 languages you see scattered here, including Hindi, English, Latin, and everything. Amazingly enough, in communication with God, I felt that He wished to give me a rare gift that, you know, how wide is your great country, India? And I went 3 times, but you know, when I went the second time, I was reluctant about it because I hadn't time to go. But I went in to Orissa and Kit University for an art and literature forum. I was with Dr. Anand, the great Indian thinker, and he told me that the temple of the sun, where 25 of these wheels, stone wheels, are just 30 kilometers away from where we, we, we were situated. It was amazing to see the real thing. So this is I call this is the matrix that lead us even to things kind of luxury to give us what we dream about to see it real. Thank you. Next, please. Next, please. To conclude this part, I say to enjoy eternally, try to get life's gifts in continuous gratitude, creating an eternal dialogue. Creating an eternal dialogue with the source. Okay, next, please. Next, please. Okay. The 5 senses. So this is a cycle. We get 2 things from the world through our 5 senses: awareness and knowledge, through physiological processes, energy, okay, and enjoyment. Next, please. So as you see here, through the digestion and breathing, we get the energy. Now the air we have inhaled in and the food we have eaten are interacting to generate energy that would run through the blood circulation to give energy to all our body and cell. Here comes the output. We got the energy. Now we need to experience the output, what we are gonna give. Next, please. And this energy is to set our motor system to work, coordinated by the nervous system, in order to contribute to all the activities our body can do. Okay, next, please. So here we can enjoy feeling and realizing what we do, like walking, touching, handling things, working, and everything. This is the coming part is all about. So let's be aware of each and every step as we walk through our life journey. Okay. So next one, please. As you see, next slide, we can do many things with our hands, with our body. This is the output. Different activities. We can enjoy everything we do, we touch, we handle. Okay, next, please. Okay, like work, for example. We have different types of work. Huh? Okay, and in the middle, right in the middle, this great monument of the workers. And next, please. Next, please. The same thing with sports, to let the energy get out beautifully and, smoothly, or the movements, different practices. Okay, next, please. Okay, next, please. Even relaxation, when we come to the end of the day, even through our rest and sleeping, we can enjoy a sense of accomplishments of the daily contribution we have done. Next, please. Next, please. In the next slide, we have the perfect cycle of our existence. As we said before, to complete the perfect cycle of our body, we take from the world knowledge, awareness of this world or this universe through our senses and physiological process, we get the energy, but also we give back to complete the circle, we give it back, huh? Work and care and the fruits of our work actually by the energy we got. We got the energy from the left side, and then we give back by this energy, work, activities, all kind of contribution, human contribution back to the universe. Okay, next, please. So to conclude this part, we say to enjoy eternally, get the feel of action, enjoy the feel of action, enjoy feeling the action through our continuous contribution to be like a fruitful tree. Okay, next, please. So here we have ended, so far we have ended the spiritual part about developing our spirit and our body, okay, to be immortal, okay, to go with the flow of eternity, okay, to start now and continue enjoying forever, okay, beyond what we call death, because there is no death, but continuing in another form. Now we get to the practical side. I will mention only outline of it because it needs another session. First thing, top left, professional successes is because it's actually kind of vocation, how to know your calling, how to know, as we said in the mind part of the section talking about the immortal mind, we should fix our eyes, our sight at the purpose of our existence, why you are here in this time and this place of the world, in this time of the history. Okay, so there was a beautiful short story written by a jet pilot called Jonathan Livingstone Seagull, American. His name is Richard Bach, and the story is called Jonathan Livingstone Seagull, made films and translated to many languages. Talking about this, that when you look for something higher, always the detailed problems or the daily problems will be solved. Second part, understanding work as a communication with the existence. Okay, through your work, you have communication, loving communication, caring communication with people or with creation, different creatures, or with the abstract things like information, documents, other things. Okay. Then the third point, facing problems as positive changes in life. We shouldn't see problems as something annoying and something frustrating, but it's rather the curve, up and down curve of everybody's life should be ascending, developing its character with the growth of its character and so on. Okay, it helps developing our character and so on. Number 4, interreligion peacemaking. When we live in communities of different faith and different races, and how to regard, as I depicted by this pyramid, the the source of all relation is God, one God, and so the more we get to the top, to the source, the more we get closer to each other, the more we stick on at the base, we feel nothing but the difference between us. The third part, which is shown better in the next slide, the fifth part, is a visual system to map out problem and crisis for effective solution. Yes, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes, this visual system is to map out problems and crises. And it tries to map out the problems in order to analyze them and solve them completely and ideally and in a perfect way, because the more we are using verbal, analysis and verbal discussions, the more, especially with problems of high complexity, it is too difficult to get to a solution. So here I visualize everything. I visualize the scope of problems of different levels, starting from the personal up to the national, international, cosmic, and also the spectrum of opinions and so on. There are different drawings, but I actually presented this have presented this in Nigeria and different parts in workshops of conflict resolutions and also in webinars and classes, online classes, as you see in next slide, 2 or 3 or more, and you are welcome to join any of them or to find their video whenever you want. Next slide, next slide, please. I presented this, and the components are written with this post, but on my timeline whenever you need them. I will share it with you, the complete theory with all its parts. Next slide, please. To end up, this is the series of the online classes that we shared with many times. I shared this theory of mapping out or visualizing problems. Next, please. Next, please. This is my links in case that you want to contact me and know more about what I've said. I have 12 groups: Awakening, Sahwa Awakening, which is an Arab international forum in English and other languages, and Eternama in 11 languages.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, yes, yes, I'm back.
Sir,
Yeah, thank you very much.
sir, thank you
Thank,
so much for such a nice presentation, sir.
thank you so much.
Since we are out of time, we will take only one question here, and I will send all the questions asked by the participants to you through mail, and I will like that you will answer them, and I will convey to the participants. So now, sir, I will take one question, and
Okay.
which I find very interesting, since this is very relevant to the seminar's topic. So the question is, role of poetry in today's scenario, is it to ignite the imaginative, spontaneous feeling, or is it to express the bare truth? Please answer it, sir.
Well, a logical question would come to this, as you have already said. I think what poetry and world of literature had to do with what I've said, okay, and why this disciplinary approach, you know, touching everything and going through everything: science, literature, art, philosophy, and others. Actually, I'm talking here, as a title would say clearly, I'm talking about the poetry of living, the poetry of living. This is when our poetry it is not just something we write, but something we live by, something we live by. So that's how I'm talking here. It's all about turning the whole life, the entire life, into a poem. But it is an eternal poem because it talks about the eternal dimensions of our life, of our existence. Okay, is this
Thank
a
you so much,
satisfactory
sir,
answer?
for answering it so beautifully and so
Thank you.
meaningfully. You have really, I applaud that, and I appreciate your hard work that you have put in that whole presentation, whole galaxy. I can say the whole galaxy of presentations. And I am, if I'm not mistaken, there are 95 slides, and in each slide, when I was doing practice session with sir, I was mesmerized. I lost that I have to just guide sir, but I was watching and observing the connotations that were there in each slide. I think in each slide, and definitely one slide, I remember one slide, and I would like to share with the audience here that one slide where you have depicted the wheel of fortune, which you have taken from the Sun Temple, Konark, where you visited, and uh, it is such a great painting that I think later uh, definitely it would be remembered as one of uh, the words are not coming. Uh, it will be a masterpiece. It would be a masterpiece. I definitely think so. And
Thank you.
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so
But I would
being
like to say here, excuse me, I would like to say here that I did it 1 year before I went. I had done it before I went.
definitely,
So it was by the spirit. That's why I'm talking here about a soulful experience, you know, of
yes,
depicting
sir.
something that I haven't seen, but the providence, you know,
Yes, yes. And
gave
you
me.
have very aptly described, uh, if audience, you will look into that picture, you can find Parameshwar and many scriptures, the names of God are written there. And I have been a painter while I was studying. Right now, I don't get time to paint something, but I have also painted this temple. this Konark temple and Khajuraho temple, and that's why I can relate to it so easily, so easily. And definitely, sir, when I saw that work, I remembered that uh, the hard work which I have put, and it took me almost 3 months, really 3 months, to make it finished. And after that, it is still with me, and it is one of my masterpieces, as I can say. Uh,
I
and
like this.
uh, and when I saw that slide of yours, I remember I was in a, there was a nostalgia there, uh, and really, uh, and one more thing that you, I follow you, sir, on FB, and I find that you, your comments which you put there are so aptly, and they're not they are satires, but they are not harsh satires. That is something Chaucerian. And when there was the incidents of Istanbul, where a mosque which was converted into a church, which was now converted into a mosque, and which was a library. And I think there is a frenzy of religious extremism in the world. Even in India, we find this. And it's not only in India, we are finding this recurrently over the world. In earlier presentation by Elizabeth ma'am, she aptly said that the transcendentalism and Puritanism, she has compared that. And when we go in the history of world literature, we find that nothing which is done in extremes are good. Either it is nationalism, or either it is religious followings. You follow it superstitiously, and all the fringes is left on the world. And really, sir, I really appreciate that, and I think I must think that this literary feast will be a remarkable time for world. This seminar, this webinar in which we are discussing, definitely it will be a remarkable point. It will be a remarkable point, because the one question which is asked here, I would also like to add that the question is that what is the role of poetry in today's scenario? Yes, it is, as sir said, and as everyone here, we belong to academia, and we know that when you say something, when you let out your vent emotions, then there are some solutions. We we have here heard about stolen generations, and now we are hearing in China that there are atrocities on Muslims community. So if we discuss all this, here poetry doesn't confine to only poems. Here poetry means in broader concept by literature itself. So winding up, sir, uh, I would like to just end this my comment that yes, poetry do ignite imaginative, spontaneous feelings, but it also expresses the bare truth, harsh realities. It all depends on the poets, how they represent. And in each era, um, from Chaucer to Shakespeare to Teddy Hughes to Agatha Christie, you name them, and you find that. And I find the same thing in your presentations, your work, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
sir.
sir, for being with us. Now it's time for since Elizabeth ma'am has joined us and now she has left, she was there for your presentation, sir. And you have asked me how many audience will join. Sir, maybe for some reason they will not join live, but definitely, sir, this video is recorded and it will be on my YouTube channel, which I will share with everyone. The recorded videos will be there and you can go visit and have the knowledge. You can sip from the fountain of knowledge.
I
So,
would like to thank everybody for all the comments they sent. They have been sending. I read them all. Thank you very much, and I'll be able to later to answer any questions if you send me to my profile or my
yes,
to
sir.
my
Yes, sir.
message.
Definitely,
Welcome,
definitely. I
welcome.
have put all the questions on record because we are recording. So I will reach each and every question because, as I have stated, that each and every reaction count for us, count for the department, count for me, and count for the session. So now,
Thank
sir,
you very much.
please,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. So
Thanks, us.
now it's time for introduction of our next speaker, Jyotirma Thakur. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I will
Thank
think
you for enriched
I will
comments.
appreciate if you will be there, sir, for Jyotirma's ma'am
Of course.
presentation
Of course, I'll
because
be honored.
she was all the time here with us to listen you. So
Oh,
really, I appreciate the enthusiasm that she is sharing with us. And I find you all so inspiring for our generation that now um, you have achieved, you have seen, you have experienced everything, and now we are finding the gist here. And I
thank
find that you're so prolific. You all are so prolific. I really appreciate your. The words are not coming me. I'm so. I can say I'm so exhilarated. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. So now,
thank you.
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So now
Thank you.
I will share screen and I will introduce Jyotirma Thakur ma'am. She's
Great.
so now on the screen, you can find Jyotirma Thakur's ma'am picture. It is being shared to all the audience. As you can see and view her picture, she is so charming and her voice is enthralling. Uh, so Jyotirma Thakur ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, Jyotirma ma'am was there. I think there must be some network issues. She will join in. So now I will continue to give a round of applause and really say disasters. And now she's an authoress and she's a retired principal and she has a galaxy of works with her. As you can view here, there are so many achievements of her. I don't find apt word to describe all the achievements that she had acquired till now. And still she's working tirelessly. I find so many works of her there. Uh, I came to know her through a poetry group where she asked me to write and it was I was really amazed and I was because it was my first experience that anyone was asking me to write for their review and to write the forward. I was a bit nervous. I read each and every poem by word and I still remember some lines, but at that time I couldn't attain that courage that in the deadline of 1 week I can write it. So I declined, ma'am, ma'am, please. I couldn't do this time because I'm not I have not that capacity. So she said, okay, no issue. Your comments are so commendable, and that's why I have asked you. So have faith in you. So this was so engrossing for me that it has inspired me. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. And now, ma'am, I will request you to take the reins of the virtual platform, and I would like to ask the participants, please do share the reactions button there on or like a button, and do comment on YouTube, because it all is being recorded, and it will be a moment for us all that we are doing this now. In this time of pandemic, the new normal is virtual world, as I have asked you. So, equating this virtual world and adapting to these new normal, uh, we should we should admire the efforts put by our older generation, because we find uh, inspiration in them. So, ma'am, the platform is all yours. Please continue, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. Ma'am, please start with your presentation. आयन को बोल दो अपना एक कर लेगा शेयर अपना
Good morning, Namaskar, and I'm so delighted to be in Sitamarhi. That is my roots. I'm a daughter, as Arpana has introduced me, and I studied there, of course, in Patna, but Sitamarhi is my roots, and I'm very delighted to be there. I welcome all the audience, and the topic today, let's come to the topic as quickly as possible. It's peace, poetry, pluralities, a discourse. So I'm going to start with Mahatma Gandhi. Who else? Being the Gandhi Jayanti. Peace is the most powerful weapon in the hands of humankind. What a wonderful line. Now, poetry for peace, literature. Humanism is the message of literature. Whether heaven or hell is there or not, like Buddhists say that, the world we know is surely there. Whether it is an illusion or idea, in the larger sense of the world, is a reality. As long as we are alive here. What is most valuable and important here is not merely knowledge and civilization, but love and culture, the sustaining force of life in the world. What is important here is surely not animalism, nor even spiritualism or divinity, but only humanism. Gandhi said many times during the British rule, when he went against civil disobedience, and he said in the quote that humanity is above any law. In Champaran, that were his words when he fought for the laborers in Champaran, indigo laborers. So humanism is the mark of greatest value for human beings and is the message of literature for mankind. I'll go back to the Vedas and to our rishis because they are our great inspirers, and being an Indian and a Hindu. In the Indian tradition, poets are seers. They are the visionaries and prophetic in their expressions. The Veda itself is a poetic expression of highly disciplined and dedicated rishis, great thinkers who could, due to their poem of connection or the power of compilation and meditation, visualize divine messages and expressed all that in poetic form, par excellence. Sri Aurobindo, I'll quote him, charged with a mandate from eternity, has visualized that one man's perfection still can save the world. One man's perfection can still save the world. Gandhi did, didn't he? A prayer, a master act, a king idea can change the course of things. It did. Buddha, the great learner, many years ago. And then we have Socrates in Greece. And then we have Confucius. So these are the great thinkers who went ahead. And now we know. They told us, they gave us the key how humanity can survive. And that is only peace. A lonely thought becomes omnipotent. Poems on the topic of peace appears to possess the capacity to save the world from the madness, terror that has gripped us now. Poetry and peace. I'll go first to that. There is turmoil in our world with COVID and lockdown and, wars, civil wars going everywhere in the world. The poets observe. The poets observe, sense, and are moved into action through their words. They create an alternative order. In that alternative order comes transformation. That is what we are talking about, global vision, transcendentalism. The transformation first occurs at the personal level and from there expands into social transformation. Poets are teachers. Historically, the conscience of the communities. They are the conscience of communities. They now work on a global scale. Modern technology has given them new tools whereby communication is immediate. This would be a good thing. To speak from heart is to touch the heart, and to speak from the soul, which we Indians believe in, is infinite, is divine, is to touch the soul. We all have a soul. Peace poetry is holistic. Peace poetry is not merely anti-war rhetoric. It addresses the social ills and inadequacies that will result in conflict. Poetry is creative, innovative, connecting all the dots, the sensible and the sensitive in an often insensible and insensitive world. Peace poetry addresses life from a spiritual context also. How can anyone claim to believe in God and involve themselves in endless wars? And what is war anyway, if not the ultimate failure of mankind to coexist? In peace poetry, it is never winner take all. It's about sharing. In 1989, the great peace activist and poet Denis Levertov wrote, "Making peace. A voice from the dark shouted, the poets must give us imagination of peace to oust the intense, familiar imagination of disaster. Peace not only the absence of war, but peace like a poem, is not there ahead of itself, can't be known except in the words of its making, grammar of justice, syntax of mutual aid. A line of peace might appear if we reconstruct the sentence our lives are making, revoked its reformation of profit and power, questioned our needs, allowed long pauses, a cadence of peace might balance its weight. On the different fulcrum, peace, a presence, an energy field more intense than war, a mighty pulse then, stanza by stanza into the world, each act of living, one of its word, each word a vibration of light, facets of the forming crystal. Peace, as Levertov further noted, is not there ahead of itself, but it must be forged into the alembic of our lives. But poetry is not silent, but words, in fact, leading to action. But to transform the world, we must also put ourselves on the line. As he wrote, I'll quote him again because his lines are wonderful for poetry, peace, and pluralities. When words penetrate into us, they change the chemistry of the soul, of the imagination. We need, in effect, to be the change we seek in the world. We need to be the change we seek in the world. Peace poets are not propaganda, which is a political tool. Though the peace poets have to deal with all issues, a poet cannot address outer turmoil lest inner turmoil has been addressed. It is our own change that we articulate best. Peace has got to be both interior and exterior. And like charity, peace begins in the individual, in an individual's home, with lessons of tolerance, and continues as a way of life in the world at large. Peace and foresee a glorious future, an attempt to reach the ancient idea of India, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, and wish Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Everyone should be happy. The conception of one world in harmony and peace is the desperate need of the day because the world was not built into random bricks of chance. There is a meaning in each curve and line. A conscious power has drawn the plan of life. Peace poets are not into statistics. One injustice is one too many. One injustice is one too many. He said it very clearly. Even if one man is suffering, the whole humanity has to question that. The conception of one world in harmony and peace is the desperate need of the day because the world needs it desperately. These poets do not advocate blind faith. Evil does not go away through prayer alone. If it did, with all the prayers of history, war would be history. So, in a poem I wrote, Questioning Peace, the sky has enormous questions for each. As blood splatters on planet in enormous dirt, red rose symbolic color of love, but red defamed spills on pure white dove. Pale corpses drained by vampires everywhere, ocean maligned by watering graves, sky at mercy of fighter aeroplanes, humanity handicapped, innocence raves, death is the game of bloody blue whales, innocuous adolescent lives at stake. Clouds insane, incantation sounds, heaven cries in thunder, lightning loud. Seas harbor micro and macro alike, nature nurtures fierce and timid rise. Sky is at home with colors and sighs. Why is the earth? Why is the earth in turmoil, burying the wise? So we need a new faith paradigm, a shift. One which forever speaks of hope, yet but speaks in practical terms too. It is not difficult to become absorbed and influenced by an endless barrage of violent social imagery. This must be countered using a different frame of reference, which we arrive at via creativity and constructive thinking. As Gandhi said, eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. We cannot face violence with violence. It is not to deny the atrocities and horror, but to transcend them. to employ poetry that is not only jarring, but poetry that stirs the imagination, awakens the sense, inspires the people. With a new paradigm, the poets keep themselves fresh and refreshing, like flowers growing alongside busy thoroughfares. Our poetry must raise social consciousness. If social constructs are to be revised, renewed, and reviewed and renewed, peace poetry will be an ecology of the mind. Its impetus, the soul. It is grounding, inclusive, the premise always necessarily being that all things are interconnected, that all living beings are interconnected, nature, man, everything. We are all children of the one universe, of the one God, and the need is not to live in chaos, but to live in peace and harmony. It demands of poets then to present vibrant, innovative, and viable alternatives. To be believable is to be soulful. Our peace poems must have a mission: the salvation of the planet, the conversion of the minds, the transformation of action as we move from the mundane to the majestic, from the destructive to the constructive, from the haughty and hateful to the healing, and holy. We are people. We are the people imbued with power, the angels of mercy, our pens in play. We may invoke divine mercy, but the universe demands that we do our part. Beyond the words, there needs to be action, but action is only possible if there is fuel to energize it. Our peaceful poems are the call to action. Our peace poems are call to the action. True transformation calls on the moral, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. People need something to think about. No one is better equipped to make others think than the thinkers among us. I say as a prayer, let us think. Let us make others think. Let thoughts be beautiful things, positive things, life-altering things, and possible things. As a great philosopher said, Martin Luther, he said, those are not only, it's not only the persecutors, it's not only them who are to be blamed or are sinners, but also the one who faces persecution without raising voice. And if we are good, and if we don't speak and we are silent, we are as much guilty as the one who is violent. I'll go to Rabindranath Tagore, the great messiah of peace, the lone voice in the world war to speak for peace. He is the messianic poet and Asia's first Nobel laureate, promulgated a vision of peace through the cultivation of the ideologies of ahimsa, which of course non-violence Gandhi also permitted, which he derived from the Bhagavad Gita and Advaita, as one identity of the universe, which he derived from the Upanishads. Tagore formulated this vision of peace and harmony against a backdrop of war. And this vision of harmony was an antidote to the reckless jihadism, what we call both religious and secular, and war madness of the 20th century, which witnessed 2 world wars as well as an ongoing violence in different forms. He was a great internationalist that he was, found room in the philosophy for admiration of the spirit of light, as well as for a deep love of peace. Tagore did not rule out the use of focus. He recognized non-violent resistance as a powerful weapon, one which cowards may not feel fit to wield. He was a master of the alchemy of the turning the forces of evil into good. His response was the creation of global human community on a grand harmony of all human races by shunning exclusivism and dogmatism of all forms, and through the fostering of awareness sharing a dewdrop of God in every soul. War must be waged by every man against his own vices and weaknesses, his own animal nature, until all men, or the majority at least, have won a measure of success in the greatest of all wars, that is, fighting their own evil. They will not be men of peace, whose natural environment will be peaceful and a world of harmony. World peace today is the common aspiration, and many formulas for its attainment have been urged. From the spreading of mutual understanding and appreciation between cultures to an out-and-out pacifism difficult to distinguish from laissez-faire in theory and cowardice in practice. In a world of opposites, the hope of banishing violence altogether is as futile as that of secret plans, banishing even physical darkness from the world. No darkness, no light. No force, no peace. The secret lies in the proper directing of transmutation of the power which each man has and all must exercise under penalty of stagnation. Violence is the cult of valor for the cowards, and unfortunately, the cult is ruling the roast in the present day. In the present day civilized world, we call it very civilized. It seems that the de facto rulers of the world are the producers of arms and ammunition, and the de jure rulers, who are by and large elected representatives, are playing only second fiddle to them. Violence in society is an indication of sickness prevailing in the psyche of the people. Only the people can cure it by helping each other and strengthening the government machinery to control crime and law and order. But for this shifting of focus by the civil society is needed. Merely condemning the government will not serve any purpose. In a democracy, people are superior to anybody. Let us realize that without losing more time, violence can be curbed to a large extent by the awakening of the citizenry. Tagore realized this. It's the need of the hour. There may be more than one reason for this phenomenon, but the two most important reasons for the violent phenomenon are, number one, the growing influence of politicians in the day-to-day working of such institutions, and number two, the failure of the civil society to show their collective conscience against the rising violence in the society. Hardly any person speaks about the duties of a good citizen. Almost daily we witness the scene of chain snatching, mob lynching, mob handling, rape going on of civilized persons in the broad daylight by the anti-social elements in the crowded and marketplace. Silence and indifferent attitude of citizens encourage the spirit of the antisocial elements, which is, in the long run, spells the disaster for the ordinary people themselves. Tagore attributed the devil dance of destruction to three intersecting forces: the unmediated materialism of modern society, belligerent nationalism, which often led to nationalist selfishness, chauvinism, and self-aggrandizement, and the machinery of organized religion, which he said obstructs the free flow of inner life of the people and waylays and exploits it for augmentation of its own power. According to the poet, peace could be achieved only when diverse races and nations were free to evolve into distinct characteristics, whilst all would be attached to the stern of humanity through the bondage of love. Throughout his life, Rabindranath Tagore strongly believed that until the big and powerful nations, added by their superiority and vast technological advancement, cease the desire for territorial expansion and control over the smaller nations, world peace could never be achieved. Thus, war was the consequence of the necessary logic of aggressive Western materialism that developed in the early part of the 20th century, with science divorced from spirituality, by which some of those nations dragged the greater part of the world into the pit of destruction. Let me go back to the history. Let me get back once again from all this. Since the dawn of human history, mankind has been involved in both coexisting in harmony and in conflict, debating the rights and wrongs of both war and peace. With the advance of civilization and emergence of different religious groups, the genesis of war invariably lies within. Factors such as identity, ethnicity, power struggles, inequality of resources, and oppression. One factor too often excavated by the other. Conflict is resolved, and it can be resolved. People immediately sit together to search for a solution to peace. War and peace are a recurring and recycled phenomenon. Tagore firmly believed that peace was not a non-war situation. According to the poet, peace could only be achieved when diverse races and nations were free to evolve into their distinct characteristics, where all would be attached to the stem. He addressed, when he went around during World War and later, and he visited Europe and later America, all imperialism except the imperialism of love is wrong. That is what he said. It brings little nations and various races together like chips in a basket, but do not unite. They are simply held together. There is no bond of union. In 1935, under the leadership of Henry Barbers and Roman Roland, the World Peace Congress Committee was formed in Paris. A branch of committee was also formed in India, where Tagore and Gandhi were joined by other leading Indian figures. However, in Europe and Southeast Asia, the fever of militarism was at an all-time high. During this crisis, the poet's internal thoughts and feelings were in total revolt against the violent and aggressive spirit of the same. He wrote in a poem, "She serpents hiss everywhere, exhaling poison breaths. Soft words of peace will sound like hollow jests." The poet warned that we cannot have peace until we deserve it by paying its full price, which is that the strong must cease to be greedy and the weak must learn to be bold. Well, the problem of peace. The problem of peace is quite different. Here, there is no exact science which can be studied, no recognized rules of procedure, no textbooks to be followed, and no conditions which will ensure success. War is recognized by all civilized communities as the greatest scourge which can affect mankind. But the perfect peace which will put an end to the war has never yet been made. Very ironical. For a war to end war, and must thereafter be fought. So a war for peace. That is recognized as axiomatic. The perfect peace make the world must find a home. In any heart that yearns for peace, for the entire community of the world, life is shaped by previous resolve. Thus, if we concede that everything to start with, whether for evil or for good, must necessarily be traced to a mental discipline preparatory to it, then naturally the same prescription should hold good for anyone steeped in a kind of lifelong tapas for the dawning on the world of a higher consciousness in its international relationship. We all have to join on a higher consciousness, the divine soul, that we are all divine. There's divinity in all of us. We are all the children of God. We are all one. And that was what Mahakavi Rabindranath Tagore, from the earliest moment of his soul awakening, tried to promote. Maybe his poetic mood sometime weaned him away to seclusion and silence. Still, his earnestness for the peace of the world knew no bounds, and he came again and again into the midst of humanity to preach his ideals. Though renowned throughout the world as a creative artist, Tagore's concept on war and peace was confined to his writings within the boundaries of his native land. It was only after he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1913 that he gradually emerged into the international stage more and more as a pacifist and promoter of peace, and less as a literary figure. The Austrian pacifist Bertha von Suttner, the first female Nobel Prize winner for peace, invited Tagore at the Peace Congress held on January 1974, the Great Concert Hall in Vienna. Tagore did not attend, but sent a message supporting the peace movement, quoting from Arthur Reid in addition. Tagore's poems were read out in the Congress. Something terrible will come no matter how dark the present. So his hope was there. The light was there. Now let's go back to peace poetry. It's an ecology of the mind. Its impetus, the soul. It is grounding, inclusive, the premise always necessarily being that all things are interconnected. We are all children of the one universe, of the one God, and the need is not to live in chaos, but to live in peace and harmony. It demands of the poets then to present vibrant, innovative, and viable alternatives. To be believable is to be soulful. Our peace poems, the poets, must have a mission of salvation of the planet, the conversion of minds, the transformation of action, as we know, from the mundane to the majestic, from the destructive to the constructive. We are the people imbued with the power, the angels of mercy, our parents in play. We invoke divine mercy, but the universe demands that we do our part beyond the words. There needs to be action, but action is only possible. But action is only possible if we are all aware and if peace poems come into action. Tagore's lone voice against war, which is very intriguing, he commented, explaining his ultimate hope in humanity, that although he saw present civilization in crumbling ruins strewn like a vast heap of futility, yet he thought it would be grievous sin to lose faith in humankind. In a tribute to Rabindranath Tagore, Russell, for example, wrote, understanding between races, and on this account he is worthy of the highest honor. In a similar way, Einstein commented, Tagore served spreading mankind everywhere a gentle and free thought in a manner that our seers have proclaimed as the ideal. Well, now we'll talk about his institution, Shantiniketan, the Institution for Peace. During his tour in 1920-21, his mind was engrossed with his idea of international institution, which he later called Vishwa Bharati. He was one of the few ardent believers who thought that world peace could be achieved only if the East and West met together with a common fellowship where knowledge flows in two streams, from the East and from the West, and in the unity is perceived the oneness of truth that pervades and sustains the entire universe. That is, in one of his topics, he said, meeting of the East and the West. The conviction was behind the foundation of Vishwa Bharati, where he wanted the best minds from all over the world to exchange creative ideas under one setting. His institution would be the model to the world, showing the true path of salvation and peace. Tagore always believed, very much like Noam Chomsky, a contemporary thinker, in his words, that another world is possible by seeking to create a constructive alternative of thought, actions, and institutions, and by bringing a measure of peace and justice and hope to the world. When Rudyard Kipling very notoriously said that the East and West were too divergent and never the twain shall meet, that was his word, very infamous. Tagore responded in his characteristic hope of creating a unitary world. He said, man is man, machine is machine. and never the twain shall meet. In other words, West was not the problem, but it's easy the excessive mechanization of the Western civilization and fetishization of money, matter, and machine, or its intense materialism, which led to the East-West conflict. The census and binary, since such definition of the phenomenal and the material, resulted in the obscuring of humanity in people and smothering the higher spirit of man, which you often find in the individual. Tagore was aware that race conflict was an age-long inheritance of mankind's humanity, shared the animal instinct of suspicion for aliens, and that it was the highest problem in human history. His mantra against it was the assertion of human divinity, that mankind, like nature, was an expression of God, and therefore love of self ought to translate into love for the rest of mankind. This was the basis of Tagore's faith, in which he called Advaita, or organic oneness, and unity of the universe, which he expressed in his poem, The Sickbed, too, very nicely. Tagore's voice of excellence in mankind with a desire to change the world, he established that institution of peace modeled on the ancient Indian tapovas, or forest colonies where young men meditated and engaged in other spiritual practices. Shantiniketan represented an idea as much as a place, learning and contemplating divorced from the distractions of urban life in harmony with nature. In his poem, The Gardener, in his vision of human life, it's a perfect unison with nature. If let your life lightly dance on the edges of time like dew on the tip of a leaf. If Shantiniketan did nothing else, it induced contemplation and a sense of wonder in the most prosaic and earthbound of minds. In the welfare of states today, a majority opinion respects the minority opinion, and a change is brought in through ballots. However, when fanaticism seizes the mind of the majority, then religious frenzy leads to violence and terrorism. Earlier, all wars were raised to establish peace upon earth. Today, wars are far more religious fanaticism, economic dominance, or political expansion. Since war starts in the mindset, it has to be first sought on the intellectual space level to nip the very idea of war in the bud, which can be a better option than to spread the poetic message of peace along with all other political and economic efforts simultaneously. Peace has got to be both interior and exterior. And as I said, charity begins at home, peace begins at home. And I'll go back to again Sri Aurobindo's epic Savitri, where he has the conception of one world in harmony very nicely. Well, you can ask the power of poetry. Well, I'm always bemused by people's responses to good poetry. Poetry can do so much for us, besides providing reflective seasons of deep delight and wonder. Poetry can teach us how to slow down and be better observers of the ordinary in life. It can make connection between apparently unrelated things and surprise us by revealing the common threads of our experience. Poetry teaches us to appreciate the beauty of dust, the right word, and the mystery of sounds and images woven together just so. It speaks to our hearts, assuring us that others have felt what we were too ashamed or embarrassed to reveal, and perhaps convicting us of misguided affections. It shows us that others have thoughts from perspectives we consider peculiar to ourselves and therefore weird. Poetry can increase our sensitivity to others, teach us how to see the glory of God in created things, slow down time so that we are able to milk the moments of all their worth. It can stimulate the imagination, put into thoughts sentiments that we only previously knew as feelings, and render into feelings what was before merely an abstract idea. Poetry can connect us with our past, immerse us more deeply into our present, and project us into futures never before imagined. Perhaps this is why so much of the scriptures is written in poetry. Much of the wisdom of literature, all of the Psalms, and large sections of the prophets were inspired and composed in verse precisely because of the great power intent in this literary form. I would like to end with a small poem of mine, which is on world peace. People, raise a war for peace, I say. People, raise a war for peace, I say. Bring back all humanity under one roof. Future generation, why should they pay? Greed, hatred, intolerance is enough proof. The power lies in the hands of few who have gone astray to worship the devil. God's children, unite like drops of dew, wash away violent blood and level the ground for a heroic angelic race. So kindness, compassion, empathy dwells, which evil fails at a destructive pace. Let the divinity awaken to cast a spell. Once again, Earth's Holy Spirit beckons. Let Phoenix rise from the ashen grave and serves millions of orphans forsaken from the bloodshed of universal hate wave. Or the world will come to annihilation, or the world will come to annihilation, or the world will come to annihilation, and then there will be no retribution. Let the meditators of peace be aroused. Let the mediators of peace be aroused. The distant dream of one world be found. Let six continents be wonders of the universe, without any discrimination of diverse. Let bugle of Renaissance fraternity resound, like nature reinventing itself with universal bounds. Thank you very much. I think I have said enough. Namaskar, and I'm open to questions. Thank you, Arpana. Thank you, George, for listening and commenting in with me. Thank you for your friendship, and thank you for a great talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an enlightening presentation which you have made with so much of effort. I really appreciate that. That you have such enigmatic personality. You both people have so enigmatic personality that whenever we meet, we I'm talking personal my emotions that I find inspirations in you. Yes, definitely. And today's webinar's topic, which is on poetry, peace, and pluralities, discourse, and you have light on it. Very, you have put the spotlight there, and I'm really appreciate that. Sometimes I'm so I become so glad to hear you all that words don't come to me. I become speechless, really speechless. Impeccable, ma'am, impeccable. So I would like to just share my note for this that why I chose this topic because yesterday due to network connections, I couldn't make everything in place, and it was raining hot cats and dogs here, and many people couldn't join, and that's why we have to cut short the sessions. And but still, finally, while Elizabeth ma'am was speaking, everything was fine. So it is grace of God. And I would like to say that this topic, poetry, peace, and pluralities, A discourse is the need of that, to create a synergy and balance in the times of pandemic. And I hope all the participants who have actively participated and they have posted their questions. Since we are running out of time, we will. I will take only one question here. Ma'am, if you like, please take just one question and answer that. And I will make sure that I will send all the questions to you. And definitely, I think you will definitely make me to read all that questions answer. And one more thing, ma'am, please, it's a request. Please send some questions related to your presentations. Since this is last minute request, because we are going live, and it is an announcement also for the participants, all the academicians who are here, all the students who have joined us, that uh, you have to how much you were there in the webinar. So there is a quiz competition for that, and there will be one winner, because there is golden rule that there is only one best at the top of the order. There is only one. Let us find how much you have actually participated in that, and the link for that quiz will remain active. Please note uh, this is announcement, important announcement. Please listen carefully, participants who want to actively participate in the quiz and acquire that uh, awaited prize, which will be shared to you by some eminent personalities tomorrow. In the paper presentation session, we will be have some um, there will be parallel presentations, and then we will as we have telegram group, we will message you all the proceedings there, and accordingly we will plan, because it is all live and it is on the spot. And tomorrow's please note that tomorrow's presentation sessions will be on Google Meet platforms, and the details has been shared in the telegram group. There are uh, going on three active WhatsApp group for the presentation. You can choose on in which group you want to be. Just join in and do write your bio note there and the title of your abstract. We will accordingly ask the participants to present their paper. The participants will get maximum 5 to 7 minutes and remaining 3 minutes for discussions. And since there were so many queries in telegram group, someone were emailing me, so that's why I have chose to announce it here. And so ma'am, I think while I was deliberating, you must have chose one question, and please do answer, please first read out that question and then answer to it. Over to you, ma'am.
Questions, please. Will they write the questions? I can't see any questions.
Okay, I thought that you must have read some question there. Okay, let me just take a question from YouTube.
It's all right. If you don't have time, it's fine.
No,
If there is
ma'am.
no questions, it's
Definitely, we always have time for ma'am questions and discussion.
Okay.
This is the Terifist, and it is all about this only. So I will take a question from YouTube. A random question, no issues. All the questions will be answered. So don't be disheartened, participants. Your questions will be answered. I will make sure
Yes.
that all the
The
questions.
first question is, how can we make students enjoy poetry? True, I agree with you. Well, from childhood, when I was growing up, I would sit near my mother while she would be praying and reading Ramcharitmanas, Sundarkand every day. And I loved it. When she went to the grandmother would go to the bathroom, she would be singing bhajans. And even though I did not understand all the words, The music was so, although she was not a very good singer, I would enjoy the rhythm, the cadence, the beauty. So it all starts from home. I read poems to my grandchildren. My children enjoy, and I enjoy it. Basically, because of the childhood. So we have to train them to the beauty of poems. All our scriptures, if you see, are written in words. The very first one, the Gayatri Mantra, which is so awakening, Dhimahi. I do it every day. So it starts, the education begins from home. And mother, I think the parents are the best, the beginners of educators. So it's up to you to bring that. Later on, of course, the English teacher, the Hindi teacher, the literature teacher infuses in them the love for poetry by showing the cadence, the beauty, the lyric, and the flow. And of course, such deep meaning. It's knowledge in a capsule. First, it was for the lofty people, but now every ordinary person can enjoy it. It's for all. It's written in Moma words is so very common. Everyone is now writing. Everyone is writing in Moma verses their own feelings. They are not ashamed. And if one person does it, the other is inspired. So we are putting into our diaries. Previously, people wrote diaries every night, writing about in prose. But poetry is so beautiful. I've just read it 2 or 3. It simply got into me. And I've been writing poetry since, because you can write it anywhere, anytime. You don't need, even free verse is open. Prozac verse is open. So there are different, varieties of it, more than 100. And people are making new ones. So I think I have answered you. I
Yes,
hope
ma'am.
so.
Definitely, you've answered
Thank you.
the question and aroused many others. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such engrossing deliberation. And
Thank you.
now it's time to say sign off to you, ma'am. And I hope we will uh, have such actively discussions some other place and other time. And please, I will request you to do join for a few minutes, because there will be valedictory session today. And now we will play the video, the Saraswati Vandana, which was for some technical glitches could not be played earlier. And now I can see on board. I will ask Ayan to please put the spotlight on um, my mentor, KN Singh sir is there. And so I will ask Ayan to please spotlight on him also. And I will request Jyotina ma'am to please be there. And now, Ayan, the technical partner, so this was a short clip from my program, in which these two girls, which was the video which you saw yesterday, they were performing live. And so I really miss that essence of live seminar. And because we get the instant reaction there, you get that human touch there that we are missing now. So we are talking about bonding. So that bond which literature connects, and you can see that. And in that yesterday clip, which we have shared, this particular song which you have heard is sung by folk singer Padma Shri Sarda Sinha. And yesterday I talked about Vidyapati, and I talked about the voices of Bihar, the recent voices of Bihar. Yes, I feel really delighted to see younger generation to carry on the voice in their regional languages. Now, whenever I go outside of Bihar, they say to me, "You don't look like a Bihari," and I am amazed to think, what do you mean by that? Yes, you imagine that we are some Manguru and type like that. We have that accent of Gawar and all. No, Bihari are not Gawar. They are not Gawars. And I want to acknowledge that the languages which we speak, the native languages, keep us attached to our roots. And these roots are our mother tongue. Because, as Kamala Das has said, she said in one of her poem, which in academia is so famous, she says, and I'm just explaining the meaning here, that you just you can't dream in any other language. When you got heart, definitely you say uh, who, whoever you love much, either mummy or papa. So in Bihari, when we get hurt, we say "Baap re baap, ye kya ho gaya?" This is the Thet word for this. And now, as I'm drifting from the work which I was quoting, I'm quoting here Sada Sinha's work, which she has popularized through her songs. Uh, this song is Vidyapati's song, and in this song, he evokes the deity Kali, and he says um, that he praises the divine deity there. And uh, in the local language, I think many of you couldn't relate to this, but all the people who have joined here from Bihar, they can understand the language which was there in the music. And when I read and research, I found that I should work on this. I should make the media, the Western world, and all the all wherever or whenever I find a chance to promote my local Bihari culture, which is very enriched. You know, in Bihar, there was first democracy in Vaishali. Then, in different parts of other world, there was anarchy there. So I am really I think all the Biharis here can relate to me that we have image there that either we are very brilliant, either we crack IS, or either we are thieves, we are goons, we are bandits. No, everywhere good and bad people are there. So please stop branding Bihar as a bad thing. Bad people are everywhere. You can find them even in the metros, even in the. There are so many films made on it. If you go through the Kahani, the film in which Vidyavalan was there, you can find the horrifying story. And nowadays, you can find the horrifying story of the Maya Nagari Bollywood. So, on this note, I am saying that many of the speakers for the validity session are going to join me. We will wait for them. We will take a 10-minute break. We will obviously we will not go off air. We will be here. We will just wait for the other speakers for validity session to join. I want to announce that today for this session, I have with me ex-principal of my college, who is my mentor, Dr. Janaran Prasad. He's a mathematician and a very good mathematician, and he's a good human being. He has taught me how to be a nice person, how to be without harming anyone. You can do administration, and this is a rare thing. This is a really a rare thing, and I appreciate sir for that. In a minute, we will again go live. We will not going off here. We will be here, but we will wait for the dignitaries to join us. And I can see KNC sir here, and I would request Ayan, my technical partner, to please search Dr. KN Singh there, and please put spotlight on him. Ayan.
No one search any Dr. KN Singh name, ma'am.
Okay, maybe he must be joining some with other name. Okay, let me see. So
Okay.
that's why we will be waiting for 10 minutes. Obviously, this is a long session. We have been here for so much time. So I think we need a break. We will take a break for just 5 minutes. I request all the participants to be there with us. We will be in 5 minutes. Will be live, and when all the dignitaries will join for the session. For this session, I think if everything goes right, we have Dr. Ken Singh sir, ex-HOD Goenka College. He is my mentor. Uh, and I have invited ex-registrar sir, um, Colonel Ajay Kumar Roy. When I joined this university, Bihar University, he was the registrar there, and he was a source of inspiration for all of the newly elected BPC professors. So I think, but since he is traveling for some health issues right now, he has sent a letter to me because he's unwell. So I will share his letter to all of you. And from Department of English, PG Department of English, BRA, Bihar University, Dr. Madhur sir will join us. So I think in a minute we will be again on this platform, and we will continue this webinar. So please participants, bear with us. Thank you. Thank you for participating actively. can find on your screen a person, and he is none other than my mentor, Dr. K.N. Singh sir, the ex-HOD. For various reasons, he couldn't join us yesterday, but he's now here live, and it is always a pleasure to listen to him. His talks are so scholarly that everyone, the students, we miss him every time. So now, dear participants, since the registrar sir is also unwell, and uh, right now I got the message from my sir, Dr. Jain Prasad from Raxol. He said he was waiting, and now he is not well. He is also suffering from some liver disease right now. So he will be not joining us. And now, since we are also running out from time, so now the spotlight is on KNC sir, and I'll request if he can listen to me. I will request KNC sir to please speak. He's not so tech friendly, as you can see. He was so enthusiastic for this webinar that he has purchased a phone yesterday, a 4G phone, and then he has also purchased all the devices which are needed for the particular purpose. And really, I appreciate sir for this because his combination of tradition, but a bit modernity. Modernity is, I'm not a bit shy to say that he's an orthodox kind of school person, but still, whatever he is, and he is very precious to us as a mentor. And uh, when I miss him so much time, but I went to meet him on 1st of October, and there uh, he's so extempore that he wrote uh, some lines for me, and I'll recite those lines. I'm really blessed that sir has blessed me with such nice words. So I'll read out this to the audience there. He said, so lovely and lotus-like, smart and sensitive, comely and captivating, drifting towards the noon, the filled ocean. But please turn the other way, the opposite and unfilled, and write the new poetry of your life. Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring me. You inspire me always. And in just I think we were together for some 1.5 hours, and recollected, and he just wrote these lines when I said that I will be leaving, sir. And we have a very poles apart approach. He vehemently defends Ram, while I, as a feminist, you can say, or as a woman, because my name, my Kundali's name is Janakanandani. And I can feel that agony, that when a married woman, when she is pregnant, especially if she is abandoned, how she must have felt. As I'm a woman and I bear the name also, so I went to meet him, and I recited my poem, and that is going to be featured in one of pictorial book, James 2. It has been selected for that, and I am really thankful to Jyotirma ma'am, who is here, uh, uh, and I will recite that poem. It is a bit controversial, but I think the women who are here and everyone out there who will listen to this poem they will definitely agree with me. I'm not saying that I appreciate Ram as a hero, as an um, as a father, as a king, as a son. But how about as a husband? Still, I don't know. He is admired because when I find there is no one example there where the deity, the Lord, has only one wife, and it is none other than Ram. So it is not that I am against Ram. It's not that. I daily read Ramayana, and one more thing. I don't like to say Ramayana or Rama. I always pronounce it as Ramayana. Why I will change the pronunciation, which is in Hindi, we pronounce it Ramayana. That there is, in my name, there is Barina, Arpana, and that means the giver. And sir always address me as Aparna. That is the name of Parvati when she even started to not have those leaves. And so that's why she was called Aparna. And I remember many important person in my life, my mentors. I remember Dinesh Bajpayee sir, who was in Navodaya. He also used to call me Aparna. And Kensi sir also calls me Aparna. And Jian Prasad sir also calls me Aparna. And I really find that, and sometimes because of my Indian appearance, sometimes people don't find that I am a good literary person. But I'm the attire you wear. The attire you wear shows your tradition. I definitely do wear westerns outfits also, but whenever I am in any formal gathering, remember, I am wearing sari. I am wearing sari. I'm not against of other attires. Because whenever I am there as a formal speaker or I represent Bihar. And whenever I think that, I think I must carry that identity with me. The culture related to this. Everyone can everyone can wear. You can find a woman out there in Western attires. No, I think it is not a visual that is missing nowadays. But definitely this attire, sari. I heard, remember some lines where uh, a meme was there, which says, माँ माँ का आंचल कहाँ से लाएंगी ये जींस पहनने वाली. But I vehemently oppose also this, that women wearing jeans are not at all derogatory, or they should not be considered as something unsuitable. I really vehemently oppose that. And I have explained for this, my attire. Actually, I was attending a refresher course last year in Shimla, and I got so many friends there. And I think many of those friends are here, and they know me from those 15 days were so immemorial for us. We went for a stroll on Mall Road, and there it was such a nice experience. We have a guide with us, and he was telling us all about the historical importance of everything. And uh, obviously, the gathering there, it's always not that key, the students bunk, even the teachers bunk. Yes, it's true. And I am admitting it online, because when it is a limit, there is a limit for human beings. You can't concentrate for on anything for some minutes. And if you don't find that interesting, nothing will make you bind to that. And so now I will recite this poem. I am finding that poem, and I am also want to notice here that I have written this poem recently, Complaint to Ram, and I will share that in Telegram group because we are running out of time. And sir, sir has wrote about Ram, Kab Aoge Ram, uh, and he remembers each and every line he has written, and that is something commendable. We younger generation, uh, we have we are so dependent on gadgets that we are not using our CPU, that is mind. And sir remembers everything, everything there. So now I'll ask KNC sir to please give your blessings to us, sir. KNC sir, sir, please speak, sir.
I have to speak now.
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
about
sir.
what
Yes,
about
sir.
the paper that I wrote? What about the paper that I wrote yesterday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Present that paper. If you can, please present that paper because yesterday we couldn't make it happen because lot of network issues were there. So you can read out the paper. He has written very interestingly the concept note, and I think the academia who have joined in this auspicious gathering would be delighted to listen to him. So sir, please you can read out the paper which you were meant to present yesterday.
Thank you very much. This is actually a very nice and challenging topic, and I'm glad to address it. Let me first tell you very frankly and clearly how I conceptualize the term peace. Peace is supernal delight. Its source is soul and soul only. The word Santi in Sanskrit does say this. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said that the peaceful personality is one who has relinquished all his desires and finds full satisfaction in his soul through his soul. Peace comes from the soul and soul only. This peace is the greatest need of mankind. Any instrument, physical or metaphysical, cannot ensure peace. Neither our mind nor our intellect can actually attain peace. Peace comes from the soul and soul only. Then no object, no personality is needed for the bliss, for fulfillment. Then alone we have peace. We must understand it. This is the basic need of human beings. There is no other way. Nanyah pantha. The Veda said, the Vedic sage said, Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamsah Parastat. I have known that soul. I have realized that soul. Nanyah pantha vidyate, and there is no other way. No other way for the fulfillment of human beings without peace. And then, what is poetry? What is the role of poetry? yet ends his wasteland on the note of peace. Poetry, in the extended sense of literature, can help us realize this truth. Life is like a river of thoughts and desires. Literature is a boat in it, and the preceptor, the enlightened conscience, is the sailor. This boat of literature can place us on the brink of self-knowledge. And this is the supreme purpose of poetry, supreme purpose of literature. It is said to be Brahmananda Sahodar, just like the bliss one gets in Samadhi. Poetry cannot provide it, but it can be a great help towards this realization. Then one is ensconced in the self. One becomes free from all bondage, all fear, all sufferings, and is immersed in but this realization of the self can be attained through the self only. Literature can be a great help. Poetry can be a great help. But what kind of poetry? Who is the right poet for this kind of help? One who is on the way to self-realization. One who has experienced the pains and pleasures of life in an awakened state. Such a man only can be the true poet, the true seer, the true. Apart from this realization, this knowledge of life, the poet must be seasoned in his communicative skill. Both are necessary. And then, the poet can help us properly. Readers also are important. They must correspond to the psychic strata of the poet. Otherwise, they will miss the mark. Everybody cannot understand everything. Everybody cannot enjoy everything. So it raises another issue of pluralities. The reader's response is determined by his level of self-discovery, mind it. The reader's response is determined by his level of self-discovery and his linguistic exposure, intelligence, and knowledge of life. Thus, the plurality have to be compartmentalized. Only a particular segment has the capacity to dive deep into the form and inner structure of the poetry. It is not everybody's cup of tea. There are persons who admire poems, but they do not understand it sincerely and seriously. And many persons actually do not appreciate poetry because of their cheap lifestyle and little learning. For many people who have corrupt and bad taste, such people create classics of confusion and vagueness. We must take a serious note of such readers and must, as soon as possible, suck out from our coterie. It is true that great poetry is deeply understood by selected people only, but but it may be admired by larger majority. There is a gap between the admirers and the real appreciators, the true appreciators who understand the core of experience, who understand the central experience, who can reach that level of consciousness which is necessary for understanding that poetry. The gap must be understood. Of course, understanding poetry demands learning and titanic sincerity. We can enjoy true poetry only when we are sincere readers of literature and life at once. I can sum up my understanding of poetry. Poetry for me evokes the sentient and nobly mutative nature. The essential job of poetry is to evoke our sentient nature, our nobly mutative nature, and it creates a strong attachment to deeper values. Poetry fuses passionate, puissant passion with proper concept of life. It delights and elevates the soul and provides perennial peace through its music of language and magic of emotion. It seduces us. Finally, poetry is a kind of seducer. Poetry seduces us from the thorny throng of sick and busy life to the paradise of rest and silence, peace and bliss. It is for this reason that we shall ever be indebted to true poetry. I can cite a few lines from Jaishankar Prasad, where he said about a poet who is a sailor. ले चल मुझे भुलावा देकर मेरे नाविक धीरे धीरे, जिस निर्जन में सागर लहरी, अंबर के प्राणों में गहरी, निश्चल प्रेम कथा कहती हो, पद कोलाहल की अवनीरे, ले चल मुझे भुलावा देकर मेरे नाविक धीरे धीरे. Poetry is a great wood for mankind. Willy-nilly, we are swayed in the passion. So I thank you all for listening to me. This is my first time that I have spoken. And you can ask questions if my paper, my speech raises them. Baskets of thanks.
I think there are so many questions in every mind there, but since we are running out of time, we will be not taking questions, but I will ask only one question here, and I will discuss all the questions with you and make sure that the participants would get the answer. And I have assured here that I will be sharing the answers to everyone. And the concept note which you have given, and I would like to say to the audience that really we, the younger generation teachers, must take inspiration from these teachers which are with us. George Onsi sir is with sir, Kensin sir. George Onsi sir is all away from Egypt, and he is also, I think, maybe of 65 years, and he has you would like to be you would have be amazed to see his presentation. I will make sure that I will let you see that. And I think I am finding Jyotima Thakur ma'am with us, George Onsi sir with me. But I would request everyone there to please unmute yourself, and please also stream the video option there. Jyotima ma'am, please, I request everyone, because now we have come to the formal end of this webinar, and I'm here finding a nice compliment from my room partner Usha, and she uh, surprised me in the validation of the RC refresher course, which we attended, and she has very aptly used each and every incident in her poem, which she recited. Hello, who's there? Hello. Yes. I think there's some background noise there. So it happens. It happens also in seminars. Many times we have electricity cuts, the guests are not there, or many other kinds of issues. And now this is the new normal, and we find the same thing happening. Here we find different problems. But still, the one thing that doesn't miss is that the enthusiasm of the speakers and the actively participations of the participants. And I'm really overwhelmed with the response which I'm getting for this webinar through the Telegram app and through the YouTube live. And I think it was my dream to uh, um conduct such an webinar. From the day when I joined the academia, and I uh, requested my university to please give me posting in Sitamarhi, my hometown. Uh, I was getting posting in Muzaffarpur Eminent College, a medium college, but still I chose this place because I want to work here. I want to make R.S.S Mahila College like a medium college of Muzaffar. Yes, it can be. Why can't? We have talent. As you have seen my two students performing, they are very good at academician, and I'm proud to say that when I joined this institute in 2017, there were more admission in English honors classes, and the students who are in intermediate, otherwise they were not interested to attend class, but now the girls flock the class. And I think it is an honor that as I have taken the reins to develop my college. Many persons have warned me, don't become bursar, it is very danger and all and all and all. But then I decided that there was a dream, childhood dream, that I wanted to become an IS, and I vehemently practiced for that. But destiny has your own their own path. You can't uh, you can't make your own path. Destiny is there. Someone is there out there, the Lord. So I remember Harivansh Rai Bachchan's lines that अपने मन का हो तो बहुत अच्छा, आपके मन का ना हो तो और भी अच्छा. क्यों? क्योंकि ये Almighty के मन का है. I'm just interpreting the lines. So when I was in Navodaya, and many of Navodayans classmates and juniors joined me, I remember one incident. I was in class 12. Obviously, I was senior most there, and a girl from class 6 uh, came to me and she said, uh, "Okay, आप भाषण वाली दीदी है ना?" Actually, I got this nickname because I was there for every 15th August student representation. There was a time when I was in class 12th and Shanti ma'am was there as a principal. And 15th August, this is the norm that students speak first and then a principal speaks. So I was speaking Hindi. In English, when I was a student, definitely I must have some what you say boundaries. But when I was at that time, I was speaking in Hindi, and I went on and on and on, and everyone was listening. I don't know, nobody stopped me, and I was continuing. And Navodaya was experience. We were there from class 6 to class 12, so it was like family. We were those 80 students in a class, and we have stories there. There are so many alumni who are writer, and they write about their experiences as Navodayans, and we have alumni of Navodaya and all, like two states which is written by Chetan Bhagat. We as Navodayan alumni, we have so many stories. And definitely one day we will share these two. Definitely these are on my projects. So actually now this is the um, vote of thanks session, and since the department starts from me and ends on me, this is the paradox of the higher education scenario here in the Bihar. Obviously, there are vacancies coming, and I hope some good juniors will join me. And then, of course, we will try to ना वो से हम हिंदी में कहते ठेठ में कहते सुधार देंगे गर्दा उड़ा देंगे these are lines which we say in Bihari. अरे जैसे ही कुछ करना हो तो हम जब बिहारी बात करते हैं बिहारी टोन में तो we extend the language. अरे करिए देंगे ना देख लेंगे. So these are the slang languages pronunciation that I teach students when they when I take classes for spoken English. I ask them, don't speak English like you are just you have like a parrot. You have just mugged up and mugged up and mugged up. Yes, you are speaking a language. English is nothing but a language, and we as a literary student are supposed to be fluent in English, but English is just a language. And when I closely researching, I find that uh, I want to get the status of post-colonialism. I appreciate sir also. He is a scholar of Sanskrit. He remembers the Sanskrit grammar, Panini, and all and all and all. I didn't get chance to learn Sanskrit because in Navodaya we have learned Telugu as third language. So I definitely missed that. But my daughter uh, has learned this in subject as in class 10th, and she was a topper. Is a compliment for me, and I tried to learn Sanskrit from his teacher, and he taught me, and then I find that like English, Sanskrit is very scientific language, as sir always explains, but definitely need time and patience to learn a language. And yesterday Elizabeth ma'am was there, and I was uh, searching to say hello in Italian, but I couldn't find time. So I missed that opportunity. But definitely, since we are connected on the social media platforms, So definitely there will be a chance. This is not the end of the world, and this is the beginning of this sojourn, of this literary feast. So now I will like to uh, throw the spotlight on Jyotirma Thakur ma'am, and I would like to um, I will like KNC sir to know that Jyotirma ma'am is daughter of Sitamarhi, and she is now residing in UK, London, and she is there from the first second of this webinar, and she's so punctual, and she's so prolific writer, and she writes so beautifully. I think she has spent it all the uh, I can. I'm speechless to say, ma'am, about ma'am's poem, and I'm finding George Onsi sir also there. Like my mentor KNC sir, he is also not so much tech friendly, but he has prepared the slides, 95 slides, mammoth slides, uh, PPT slide. Even I like to prepare slides, and when I first saw that count 95, I was scared. OMG, what is this? How would he manage to explain? But he explained in exactly 50 minutes, and this is quite amazing. And since I had a practice session with him, because he was finding it difficult to handle the paper point presentation. So and I thank Ayan for his technical support, and I thank my principal, Dr. UK Chaudhary sir, to go ahead with this. And I would thank my students, especially I will take name Sweta and Nidhi. They are from TDC Part 1. They had made this webinar very colorful with their presentations, which was as I suggested them to perform. Because in my student life, as I have told you, that the girl came and said me, oh, you are the bhashan wali didi. And I remember whenever there was Saraswati Vandana, my classmates, they used to take my name as a hooting that now Arpana will be there. So every time there was a program, and there was obviously Saraswati Vandana, and I was there. I was performing there, and I'd like to perform that. And I remember so many seniors and juniors, and in the recent time of pandemic, we have got a pause, and now when we because we were just running and running, and this pandemic has give us a chance to be calm, to pause, to recollect. And now, when everyone is, this is our nature, that whenever we are stopped from something, we really like to do that. And since we are now uh, not there to meet anyone, we find that we should meet persons personally. Otherwise, earlier, we okay, let it be, kabhi bhi mil lenge. But now we find that no, we are missing those precious times. It was that I went on 1st October to meet sir, to get blessings for him for my webinar, because obviously for this kind of mammoth uh, organization, I would need blessings from my mentors, and there was as I have said that those beautiful lines which said wrote for me. It was so nice, and really it is a lifetime experience for me, and these moments will live in our memory. And I will again like to end this webinar on the note of Shakespeare's sonnet on which I started. because poetry is all about recollecting. When wasteful war shall overturn, when wasteful war shall overturn and broils root out the work of masonry, nor Mars is sword, nor Mars quick fire shall burn the living memory, the living record of your memory. And these memories are not the pattern of Shakespeare, but these memories are which we are right now relishing. So I would like to just, if George Onsi sir can join us, I think since he is a bit, he's not so tech friendly, and I'm finding Jyotima ma'am here right now. She is here, sir, with us, and really, it's time to say sign off. And whenever there is time to say sign off, you find it very overwhelming. We are literally person, and we are embedded with emotions, and it comes in our ways. And we find always say difficult to bid adieu. But anyway, we have to say, because unless and until we say bid adieu, we will not be there to meet again. And I hope and pray that Jyotirma ma'am's blessings will be with us, all the academia who has joined us, and Elizabeth ma'am is also with us. George Onsi sir is with us, and I am really, really indebted to all these international speakers. uh, I am really impressed that you are so punctual. You have made so much efforts for the presentations. I am really indebted to this. So I can say that this pandemic is not bane, but it is boon in disguise for us people in Bihar, because we have not so much facilities that we can afford to have such international magnificent speakers with us. Really. And I want to mention that Jyotima ma'am said, whenever I will come to Sitamarhi, I will do visit to your college and I will donate my books. And this is such a nice gesture that I think I will be there in R.S.S Mahila College till my retirement. And I will see that those books are an asset. And uh, I really thank our principal sir, UK sir, for reviving library once again. We are going through changes, metamorphosis is going there, that we are going to make our library to upgrade in uh, um, e-library. There will be, it will be soon. It will, obviously there is a pandemic crisis, and so it is marring the development of the college, but still we have earned so much in the online class. So वो हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है. So this pandemic has that kind of thing. We have lost many things. We have restrictions. We have the fear of disease. We have the fear of death. Yes, it is inevitable, but this is the thing which we always try to deny. And this is always the saying of Bhagavad Gita, which says me to just learn. And he said that you will learn when you will remain a skeleton of old. No, sir. And I said that I have so many projects. I have 3 kids and my husband, and as a house maker, I have my 4 projects with me, my life 4 projects, my husband, my better half, my 3 kids, and I have my 2 pets with me, my doggy Vida and my pet Mitu. They are all integral part of me. Like Mahadevi Verma stories, whenever I recollect her memoir story, I find that I'm realizing that, and I find it so amazing. And really in the morning I had some discussion with my some colleagues, and I said that life doesn't end when you are married. I was married very early, and but still now you are trying to create something. But since this sojourn of my 20 years of marriage, I have 3 kids. My eldest daughter Astha is in class 12th, and my and they are assets for me. They're not liability for me. They're assets for me, and they help me out there whenever I need them. I don't need the artificial intelligence. I have three gifts of God for me, and really I thank God. I thank my teachers, my mentors, and everyone out there who I fail to take name. Uh, Thank you everyone for whatever you have. Even the participants, I find so encouraging compliments. Thank you, participants, because unless and until we have participants like you, this webinar couldn't see the success as we are saying this. Thank you so much. So it's Department of English, R.S.S Mahila College, formally announcing the signing of this valedictory session. So signing off, it's Arpana from Bihar, India. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. So one announcement before I leave, one announcement that there in the Telegram group, we have divided three presentation sessions in WhatsApp chat group, and everyone out there who wants to present, please join in. And if you have not that link and still you want to present, you can because I have shared my WhatsApp number, you can send me. And if you want to present, you can present. And wait for the surprises for the presentation session, which will be conducted tomorrow. There will be three panel discussions, and there will be chairperson, three chairperson. We are all from this university. Dr. Vinamrita from MSKB College, Muzaffarpur, and one session will be chaired by me and another one by Priyam Francis from MDDO. And we are all like sisters, and we are enjoying sisterhood. And thank you everyone for joining, and please do join in this literary sojourn. Thank you so much. And I request my IT partner, AYAN, to please end the meeting. Thank you, everyone.